Everybody seems to be wanting Xbox to go out of business or Microsoft to go out of business. It's honestly one of the things that is very frustrating as just a fan of gaming, because clearly Microsoft has done a good job of listening to everything that fans have wanted. They made a lot of mistakes in the past, clearly, but they've also done a lot to rectify those mistakes and things like that. And, I honestly think that this is something that fans are going to have to understand when it comes to, the future of Xbox and how this is going to continue to make Xbox relevant down the line. I've been a fan from Xbox right from the beginning. I knew that, what they were doing was something different. I liked what they were doing with their online, with their voice chat and stuff like that. And to me, it just makes a whole heck of a lot of sense to make sure that everybody has that something special about them, you know what I mean? And Microsoft has, in my opinion, has done a fantastic job of making sure that everybody, no matter what type of games you like, has something to play. Now, this is very interesting because, at the end of the day, it makes things that much better on Xbox, and I think that much worse on PlayStation. But again, could this be something that costs Xbox? A lot of people are saying, well, Microsoft is going to close up shop. And there was a lot of those rumors and stuff going around about Xbox back in the day, last week or whatever. I never bought into that stuff saying, oh, well, there's a certain date or time. Phil Spencer said they're definitely going to close up. Like, listen, they'll be ass deep creating the next Xbox, or the next Xbox will already be announced by that point. Game passes, and people go, oh, well, they'll go third party. No, according to that, they'd be out of the business, not third party or anything like that. Again, it's just one of those things where I've looked at this and I've kind of looked at both sides of it. First of all, Xbox going out of business would be bad for everybody. For the longest time, I've kind of looked at these things and I've said, maybe it's not biased, maybe it's not. But if you look at the stuff like IGN, for instance, they continually will announce these games and they'll go, look at the games coming and here's the places they're going. PlayStation 5, PC, Switch, whatever. But they always leave Xbox off. And people have corrected them numerous times now. Numerous times, right? They said, oh, look, it's coming to Xbox too. Hell, it's coming to Game Pass day one. Why can't you put the Xbox logo in there? I don't understand that thought process. But then you realize IGN, one of their big contributors, Ziff Davis, they have stock in Sony. So, when you look at this and you sit there and you go, it's getting kind of ridiculous that this is happening the way that it's happening. But, at the same time, I sort of kind of understand now that people are just going to hate Xbox regardless. They came out with Starfield, one of the best games I've ever played, and people beat it to death. People beat it to death. It was honestly, one of those things that really just makes me feel bad. Makes me feel pretty bad about what's going on. I feel bad for Bethesda because Starfield is a game that's definitely should be higher rated than 84. It's honestly probably their best game since Skyrim, and to me it's even more fun and engaging than Skyrim and bigger. So to me it should have a better score than that for it to be where it's at. I just feel like there might be some legitimate people that didn't feel it and gave it a 7 or an 8 or something, but then there's also the people that just had alternate agendas and gave it a negative score because they don't like Xbox or for whatever reason, and that's something that's even more unthinkable in my opinion. So it's kind of crazy to see that. Again, I hope that we see Microsoft continue to do some great things, but according to the FTC, they're again challenging this Activision thing. Just when we think we're kind of out of this, It looks like the FTC lost its request for a preliminary injunction against Microsoft's takeover. A couple months ago, the regulator has now resumed its challenge with plans to move forward with an in-house hearing. In a statement to Bloomberg, FTC spokesperson Victoria Graham simply had the following to say: the FTC continues to believe this deal is a threat to competition. So a new order that was filed by the FTC this week mentions that the Commission has determined that the public interest warrants that this matter be resolved fully and expeditiously, and with the conducted by a virtually conducted evidentiary hearing at some point in the future. As a result, the FTC losing the preliminary injunction request back in July, Microsoft is still able to close the Activision Blizzard acquisition before the deadline of October 18th, and the company expects that this will actually be the case. They said, we still anticipate that we will close this transaction by October 18th, and we have full confidence in our case and the deal's benefits to gamers and competition. Activision Blizzard didn't hold back either, issuing a fiery statement in response to the FTC saying, quote, we're focused on working with Microsoft towards closing. How the FTC uses limited taxpayer dollars, it's its decisions. Ultimately, it doesn't look like the FTC's challenge of the Activision Blizzard takeover will be able to stop it from going through prior to October 18th. But it does mean the Commission could technically keep fighting it even after it closes. It'll be interesting to see what happens next, but it doesn't look like this is going to cost Microsoft anything, honestly. So, we'll see what happens. I think, honestly, what we're seeing is, I don't even know what we're seeing, to be quite frank, because I never thought that they had any kind of right or any kind of thing for this at all. I thought that it was always complete nonsense, and if they wanted to stop competition, then stop some of the stuff that Sony does, stop some of the stuff that Tencent does, stop some of the stuff that Embracer or whoever was doing, because these companies were buying up everybody else. And I get that they don't make things exclusive, but they can. I mean, sometimes, of course, obviously. So there is that, and it's just super unfortunate, in my opinion, that so much of this stuff, and I think a lot of I honestly do think a lot of what Xbox does is super dependent on stuff like this in the future. So, we'll see. I suspect we'll be hearing something maybe this week, at the most, I think 2 weeks. I mean, this thing obviously has to get, I think, closed up, right? I mean, honestly, it has to be closed. It has to be finished. It has to be, where we're at. I think it doesn't make sense for it not to be. So, we'll see what happens. I honestly think that it's crazy to believe that Microsoft won't continue to put up a fight with this stuff. And, again, Microsoft has done a good job of making sure that this stuff has not really hurt what they've been trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, Microsoft has proven Sony wrong, the haters wrong, the FTC, the CMA. We'll see what happens. It's crazy what happens, but again, I can't wait to see where this goes in the future. We'll see what happens. It's crazy though. So let me know what you guys think. I'll link this article in the description. If you guys are new to the channel, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already done so as well. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.